Caulfield preview time. I've got the Melbourne Pro-Punter here to talk about a very interesting 30th of August meeting at Caulfield, which there was a lot of talk about rain leading into the meeting. There was a lot of talk about wind during the meeting. Sitting here on a Tuesday, Roy, what's your analysis of those various factors before we get into the individual performances?
Yeah, well, obviously they didn't get the rain that they probably expected. I think we all sort of thought it would be sort of at least a 6, maybe even possibly get into a 7. I know Nigel was sort of hoping for that, but look, I think it was probably a case of they only got the 9 mils. The track was probably in pretty good nick going into that, and it just sort of meant we just sort of ticked over into a dead track range without, anything more. It certainly wasn't. There's a couple of, theories that horses have failed because of the track, but as far as as far as how damp it was probably just a tick into the slow, which is just the old dead track, and that's all you could say. I think.
Well, the ratings to win numbers times track speeds came out at 3.7 for the short course races, the ones out of the chute at 1200, and 4.4 for the overall course. So it's the times were certainly verging on good. How much of that had to do with the wind, I'm not sure. The wind was obviously behind them as they kicked off in the 1400 and beyond races, and should have hit the leaders as they turned into the home straight, if not in the face, certainly obliquely on their left-hand side. But that doesn't explain the pattern. If there is a pattern on the day, it doesn't really explain it, does it, Roy?
No, that's contradictory. I mean, the pattern of the day was certainly to be on the pace at the bare minimum, and if you could get on the inside as the day progressed down there on the inside seemed an advantage. So, look, I think it's probably just one of those days at Caulfield with the rails in the true, and you had to be on the pace. That's all you could say. And maybe if being on the inside was a help. That wind was predicted to sort of die down after 2 o'clock, and from memory, I think it did when I had a look. But
yeah, well, I can show you this is the ratings to win result panel for Caulfield, and there's a column giving you the wind speed as measured at the nearest weather station for that pertains to the time of the race. So as you can see, the wind is recorded as sou'wester at 46, gusting up to 50 for race 1. That sort of holds true for about 4 to 5 races, up to 6 races. That's 3 o'clock, and then it starts to die off. And by the last race, the wind is from the west-sou'west at 23 k's, only gusting to 25. So I would suggest that the wind, if significant, based on those numbers, is only significant for the front half of the card. So that's
of course it could. The other point too is with those high winds that they had on Saturday and Friday, there was wind about on Friday too. It probably just dried the track right out.
Indeed. Well, I have located a replay of race 1, which didn't seem obvious a minute ago. So let's kick off with that. See if
Hail True 1800 race 1.
Just turn that.
Let the spring carnival begin. They're racing at Caulfield.
So I've got the times in this race going.
With Jareth and also
they've gone out above
Sun.
average.
There's a real wall of them. Gilded Waters
and moderate home,
as well, and not too far away as Jack
pace.
the Lad Unlimited is going to take a trail with Think and Fly.
This was
and
a race where the favourite was ridden well forward. Gilded Water,
back there with Ruakaka, Raider,
those.
Hurricane, Shoeless. 2 further back is Angry Skies, second last, and Fineo is at the end. On top of the hill now, they reach the 1200 marker, and Morning Sun is the leader by a length to the favourite.
As predicted by you, Morning Sun did go to the lead.
The roughie took it up, and it got beaten about 8 lengths. Didn't do anything. The favourite was outside the lead, Gilder Water in the King's colours. Ended up getting beaten about 3/4 of a length. There's a slight sort of tick for being exposed outside the lead there in a strongly run race, but probably not enough to make you, sort of think that the punters and the bookies got the market right at 320. It was slightly disappointing, but I guess it does have a big campaign ahead of it, and it was only first up, so there's some merit in the run, but nothing really spectacular. But box seating there was Jareth in the yellow cap, has every chance. The winners behind it, Unlimited in the red. And that's pretty much the story. The one out, one back chasing Aphrodite was $26. It ran fourth.
Yeah. So I mean, we're let's deal is the next best there, getting beaten 2.25.
Yeah, I had something on it. I was slightly
Where is it in
disappointed. I
the
thought it was
run
going to win
there,
when it
Roy?
got to the 200, but
Let's deal
perhaps it
is
needed a run.
where's Let's Deal in the run?
It's just in the running line, just behind Unlimited.
Oh, here it is in the black and white
Danny O'Brien
check.
colours.
Yep.
And it does limp to win, but just didn't finish off, and the market said no, so perhaps it just needed the run. Maybe it's got a big campaign ahead of it. Like many of the horses on the day, there was obviously a stack of horses first up, so this is always a tricky meeting, this first one. We'll try and dissect it as best we can. I don't think there's a lot much we can take out of the first. The winners had the perfect run, the second horses had the perfect run. Gilda Waters showing, I guess, good signs. Sort of moved up here, exposed in the outside the lead there in the breeze, but
all right, but he needs to get his rating up, doesn't he, Gilda's daughter? So you would expect
we did
him
talk
to be
about that. Yeah, I think there's a few cups they're trying to target to try and get him to win something along the way.
Unlimited moves up, wants to lug in under hands and heels.
He's a little bit one pace there, isn't he? Really, I mean,
Unlimited won the first.
Would be interesting to see. He's got so many stayers, Marc. Heading towards the cup. It's going to be interesting to see which ends up being the best of them.
Yeah. Oh, look, for me, I could only take the favourite out of this race, given that it was kicking off. I mean, Unlimited is
limited.
Well, look, it was a perfect setup, wasn't it? He'd been running on the wet, and I did remark on our on the other show, the Sydney show, how I was surprised at how much speed it was showing, and obviously it took that down to Melbourne on a better track, and then it got a better track again.
Yeah, and that's the go, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it found its race. Let's move on to something a little bit more fertile. So we now need race 2, which I think was nominated pretty much by you on display. I felt that on Thursday you were very bullish about this horse. So,
yeah, it's a talented horse. It's got a good turn of foot, and look, things did
100 metres
for it here, as you see.
Set and away they go. In her on the inside.
It's quite a brutal tempo, I would have thought, Marc.
Yeah, very fast out, very slow home. It's a very fast pace.
Yeah, and you can see the winner in the yellow and navy just sort of poking up on the fence, sort of midfield there. Slightly worse now as it sort of eases off heels there a bit, but the race has really been put on for it. They went quite fast up front. The second horse, Shadavar, it's in the red cap, just sort of slotting in behind the lead, gets a nice run. Probably
it's going to be one out, one back, isn't it?
One out, one back in the end, yeah. Nice little ride there from Craig Williams. Look, I was a bit sceptical at 1,400, but I have to probably say, tick, well done. They've obviously found that it can run that sort of journey out, particularly after chasing a hot speed here.
What did you make of what B. Shin was trying to do here? He seemed like, they'd gone very hard, and now he's asking his horse Gala Queen to go.
I think the Gala Queen is it's just not performing at the level that we thought it would this campaign. People kind of making excuses, maybe it doesn't like the damp. I feel like it's a horse who maybe he's only got a short sort of burst in it. That's twice now it's sort of learned to win and not gone on with it. It's got beaten 4.5 lengths on it, and the pace was fast. I mean, everything just suited the winner, just went past it. So. But there's only really one horse you can take forward. That's the winner. Perhaps it's worth noting that Subliminal was extremely wound up before the race. I think they had to resaddle it, and it's the one that caused the brutal tempo. So not a bad effort to run 30, but beaten a long way. But it has gone out in 46.7. So. It's done a lot of work early, and perhaps maybe there was something that went on behind the barriers or with the saddle or whatever that caused it to sort of, set such a fast speed. But look, the winner's got a touch of class, and that's all you could say.
Yeah. Well, she's, well, despite, obviously she's run on from the back off a very fast tempo, but given the day, it was sort of not that easy to do that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I'd suggest that she's the one to follow out of the race. Let's go then to the third, where Sassy Boom has attempted to make all. Just go to all. And Keep Your Cool has just ground home over the top of it after being on the speed.
Hard to believe it got beat, Sassy Boom. It was looks, I think you'll find in the replay it was about a length and a half in front with 50 metres to go. But anyway, that's just the way it goes. It set a pretty even tempo to my eye. I'm not happy to be, sort of.
Yeah, above average,
Yoshinobu's edgy, close, racing.
The genuine.
Yoshinobu midfield away. Sassy
Keep Your
Boom
Cool
was the
just
best
sort of
to leap from Kappa 39. Keep Your
charm run with the red cap and the blue, just behind the speed. Good ride by Logan Bates. So as I mentioned, Sassy Boom's up the front there. Disappointing was Kappa 39. I think that people have just got to move on from it. Particularly moving into a carnival, it doesn't really have anywhere to go now. And the run of the race was probably the third horse, Athanatos. It's back there in the lime green, just sort of on the rails.
Number 2, there it is.
Yeah, 4 back on the inside, and it's a little bit held up for a run in the straight. It's certainly one that could move forward throughout its prep now. It's only early stages for it, and it's obviously done good things here, but it's not a strong race by any stretch of the imagination, this one.
No, well, the first 2 horses are very, very, very exposed.
Correct, yeah.
And Yoshinobu, I felt that was a bit of a train wreck how things panned out for him. He was
caught 3 wide with cover, but look, to be honest, that's you expect a little bit more than what it gave. It's just
I suppose it's third up, and like at a time where, okay, so you've had a run that precludes you from winning, but you just don't.
Showed no fight, did it? Yeah. So. Yeah. And Jenny the Fox, well, it was in 5th. That's twice now that it really hasn't sort of finished off. So I'd say we're probably moving on from it. There's not really much else you could say. So risque, stylish, they ran on, but I think it's a quiet race, and Athanatos was probably the run of the race, but that's all you could say.
Yeah, and how soon should we be interested in it? And what's the right sort of race for it?
Well, certainly it'll need to go up in distance. Lacks a touch of probably sort of that sort of group class that it's going to bump into now. You'd probably want a price, I think, moving into a group 3 or group 2. It's just, things are going to heat up now. So.
Okay. So let's see if we get to just get out there. Where's my don't know my way around racing.com very well. Let's get to race 4, which is 2000 metre race. Revelare, with the benefit of 1 run back, has ground home over the top of Smoke and Romans. They've gone moderate
event
out
on this Group 1 race.
And average home, which is a below average pace shape. And
I think that's probably about what you're sort of expected from the race going into it. There was a lot of talk about the lack of tempo and that there was only really 1 leader, Smoke and Romans, who takes it up now with the white cap and the pale blue and dark blue diagonals.
He's out 3 wide at the moment, about to cross them.
Yeah, and just takes a cruisy sort of lead. Nothing really changes much. Doesn't really sort of put any pressure on early or anything like that. So it's a pretty substandard sort of tempo. The winner, Revelare, it is in the running line. I think it ends up sort of...
Yeah, it's here, number 14. It's
that's correct, yeah.
See, it's 6th at the moment.
That's it, yeah. So
front half of the field. Yeah,
and moves up at the right time. Without, going too early and sort of, using his horse too much. It's just sort of improved second up. Obviously needed the run first up. It's got a big campaign ahead of it, going to the Cups and all that sort of thing. So It's only fallen in here and beaten Smoking Romans by a half length, but I guess, they're taking their time with it this time in, that horse. So, there's probably some sort of improvement to come. I thought the only other horse I was, really interested in the race, well, there was two others, but New Look was disappointing. I mean, it sat one out, one back here in the red and the sort of orange colours. It did get a little bit cramped for room, but I feel like maybe the horse was probably beaten when that happened, and it gets beaten 3.5. I don't really know where you go with it from now.
Yeah, well,
Perhaps,
I guess we were sort of waiting for this run to see what it had, and
and it was backed again. It's SP'd $4.40 there, but perhaps second prep is better for some of these Europeans. Perhaps wetter tracks. I'm not really sure, but it doesn't really attack the line like a horse moving forward. Momona was great. I mean, it was 3 wide in parts of the race and attacked the line late, coming back from 2,800 to 2,000
but it
metres.
was expected to run a race, wasn't it? I could see in the betting that there was some sniff
Support there
about
for
this
it, wasn't
horse.
there? Yeah.
I mean, it's. I guess it's not in a horrible position, but the grey there, and then it's making its run. It's on the back of Revelare there.
Yeah.
It grinds home. I mean, you'd have to say that Smoking Romans and Momona have set themselves up well for like a 2,400 metre race at their next start.
Yeah, that's correct. And also Middle Earth is sort of poking home out wide in the blue colours. It was only first up, so it's probably moving on to something longer now.
Very unfancied, I felt, in this race.
It was,
Like
maybe that was something to do with the big weight. Maybe it was first up. I still haven't seen the fascination in the horse that sort of others have seen.
Well, single figures in the Australian Cup, really. I think that's...
Yeah, so I'd like to see a little bit more from it before I'd sort of jump on the Middle Earth train, but that's all you could say, really. I think there's probably not much else you could take out of the race. I mean, Charterhouse is running fourth there on the fence. That's not something we're interested in, punters, is it?
Indeed. So let's have a look at the next of the staying.
Oh, there was one more thing worth noting. Honourable mention to kinesiology and maybe to a lesser degree, Basilina, where they're a little bit cramped down the home straight.
Okay. Race 5 is 1,700 metres, where El Rocco attempted to do his thing again, and this time Too Darn Discreet wasn't too late to the party. So I mean, they were well and truly the up and running horses in this race. I must say that we didn't spend a lot of time talking about Braden Star on Thursday, and it was very, very prominent in the betting.
Yes,
Round up
at $4.20.
So in this race, I've got them going out average, home below average, which is an above average pace, and it was a bit drier than El Rocco's been running on, but he's certainly found his mojo, hasn't he? He's a fit horse that's been controlling things, and it nearly worked again. What are you saying here about various performances?
There's the first 4 around the home corner ran 1, 2, 3, 4, but obviously they in different order. The pace to me seemed probably slightly above the expected sort of tempo for this grade. I don't think certainly wasn't slow, but it was probably sort of average to above average. Yeah, El Rocco, look, he looked home, didn't he, for Nigel there? He's in front and just sort of starting to wind the tempo up before the turn. Statuario was probably, the run of the race moving forward in second there. The grey, it was exposed first up in the race there.
Yeah, first run back from the Derbies.
Yeah, it did a good job. And then the winners come with a late rush as El Rocco hangs off the inside, which probably I guess people were hoping wouldn't happen. But there's not much really to take out of the race. Braden Star runs fourth every chance. I couldn't come into it. Whiskey on the Hill running home into fifth out wide there with a red cap, but certainly Statuario did a good job first up. That's all you could say.
And River of Stars has not featured at all. So it's here.
Terrible. Got back 9.5 lengths, perfect run. Yeah. One of the only Yulong horses on the day that didn't. Certainly, these Yulong horses, geez. they can find a star, can't they?
They can indeed. Yeah, lots of unfit horses in the race, and I guess it makes sense that Statuario has performed creditably. Now we're down into the sprints, and Tycoon Star was let run, along with Magor. I've got them going out fast and coming home moderate in this 1200 metre race where they switch to the chute. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, it does look like a quick tempo early here. And I think moving forward, we could really only take those first two across the line. They've gone sort of 34.6 or something the first 600. There's Magor out there in the purple sleeves yellow.
He's taking his time on the winner, isn't he? He was just like cruising along there for a bit, and now he's pressed the button.
Yeah, he just decided, look, I'm not going to get stuck out wide or whatever, so I'm going to go up and force the issue, and that sort of spurred Magor on a little bit further, and they ran along at a good tempo, these first two, and they ran 1-2, so I don't think you can make any excuses for the others. Jimmy Ricard was just sitting behind them, couldn't go past them, probably a bit disappointing really for its backers. And Vinrock will, look, they've interviewed a few, the connections. I think the jockey said maybe blinkers, maybe a firmer track. I think maybe possibly even further was suggested by, the trainer or jockey or something. A lot of excuses. Terrible effort. It over-raced a little bit early, I noticed, and sort of laid out in the home straight. It's just not good enough moving forward for me. I'd need to see it do a lot better than that. The first two across the line went fantastic to my eye. Tycoon Star was, superb, sitting up there on the hot speed, and you can only sort of just look at Jimmy Ricard. It beat it home the other day, and it's got been 2.5 lengths here. Off every chance. So
yeah, here it is on its back. It's because it would appear to be a good barometer for the race.
Definitely gone to a new level. The winner and Magor was good. Love to see Magor just sort of settle a bit better in front, but moving forward, you couldn't take any of these others. Son of Kirk and Express Class got a tempo to suit, but did nothing.
Yeah, it looks like the first and second here. Obviously we're dealing with a day where there seemed to be some advantage in being there, but Magor's first up, and Tycoon Star been used up to go out and race outside the lead. So I wonder where he goes, Roy, because he would seem, you'd be thinking Coolmore, you'd be thinking.
Yeah, that's probably the target for any 3-year-old that puts in a performance slot.
Yeah, but I don't know what you do with it for 2 months while you're sorting that out. Okay, fascinating race, and let's move on to the 1100 metre where Tropicus. So he's resumed with blinkers here. He had blinkers on for the first time in his win at Caulfield 2 starts back, and then he had a little bit of time off and then went to Adelaide, raced up on the speed and retired. So this is the first time he's resumed his field sets, and he's done it at both ends here, and he's put Zarastro to the sword because Zarastro was supposed to lead here, and Tropicus said, no fucking way, I'm taking this up. I'm a fast horse with these shades on, and I'll show you how fast I am. So for out fast, below average home, which is a genuine pace. Who's that? That's Marzu in between them at the moment. So Zarastro's like 4 out, trying to lead. It's not looking good for him.
He couldn't get control, but he was disappointing. The winner's gone fantastic here, Tropicus. It's worth noting that Tropicus and the third horse, See You in Heaven, and the later winner, Treasure in the Moment, all came out of the same barrier trial there at Mornington, off the top of my head. So obviously that's that trial has, for whatever reason, been a huge springboard into this meeting. Those 3 horses have gone fantastic. Look, they went out fast. They came home pretty good too. So this will be the best performance Tropicus has ever, recorded in his life, and a lot of people will be sort of sitting there thinking, well, geez, can he repeat it next time? But there's nothing to say that, he got a soft lead or anything like that. He's gone extremely well. I didn't see it coming, but look, you have to believe what you see. Yes, he was advantaged being on the inside part of the track and on a day where you had to be near the lead, but he certainly put them to the sword and won by a couple of lengths. Arkansas Kid was wide, fought on courageously in the second.
I suppose, if you just watched him in the straight, you go, oh, well, he loomed up and he got run away from. But he did sort of do a fair amount of work to actually get into a prominent position, didn't he?
Yeah, and that's See You in Heaven, hitting the line out wide there into third. Zarastro back on the inside in fourth. Disappointing. Jury's out now, I guess, on it, and perhaps even that stable travelling from Queensland. There's always a little bit of a question mark. I think.
Well, Melbourne was supposed to be okay, Sydney a no go, but look, it did. It's a bit
Tino
of
can do it,
a
I
flat
guess.
track
So
bully, isn't it?
Look, perhaps maybe it's just the horse, but it was very disappointing, and you certainly wouldn't want to be meeting Tropicus again.
So She's Bulletproof has finished second last year. What are we saying about her? She's in the stripy cap.
That's the one. Yeah, put in a poor performance. Got beaten 8 lengths. There was a little bit of talk about maybe it didn't handle the track or something. It's very difficult to turn these sort of performances around at this time of year. I found, like, if horses, you can't really sort of just turn things around quickly.
So you got to be top. You got to be near the top of your game. You can't be like
absolutely,
messing
because
around.
the races are only going to get harder from here. So it's really hard, I think, for punters to take that sort of run and say, okay, I'm just going to wipe that, and you got to get a little bit more sort of a firmer excuse. Outback Mist pulled up with a throat condition. It actually ran 7th and only got beaten 4.5 lengths. So perhaps there's some sort of an excuse with that in the steward's report. But yeah, She's Bulletproof. She wasn't.
Yeah. So the winner, Roy, we've seen him dazzle them here at 1100. He was aimed at the Golden Rose this time 12 months ago. What do you think his best go is?
Oh, it looks like a sprinter, 1,200-metre horse, doesn't he? I'll leave that with the Freedmans. They know what they're doing, and they've got another good one here. I think it's like you can't deny the performance. Just one more horse worth mentioning in 6th. There's Feroce, or however you say it. Resuming
Number
for
one there.
sort of 1,600-metre sort of horse. So obviously it's got a big campaign ahead of it, and that's a great run over 1,100 first up for Idiot. But
right, so you're looking for it, giving it a tick.
It was 30-1. It wasn't expected to win or anything. As I said, 1,600 metres is going to be peaking for it later on.
Very good. The next sprint is the mares, the Cochrane. You were keen on Magic Time. Kev was very keen on Magic Time, and she's duly delivered. So let's play this. I've got them going out genuine. They're all in moderate, which is a genuine pace shape. So,
I think it's worth noting, just sort of comparing the times here. I mean, this is a good quality mare, Magic Time, proven at the top level, Group 1 sort of horse. And, just getting back to the 3-year-old race earlier in the day, they basically run a similar time, Tycoon Star, similar sectionals as well.
Yeah. So would you say that you'd be looking for the mares to run better times, better figures?
I'm just saying, I think it's a good tick for the 3-year-old race, and now later in the day you're seeing, a good quality race with a good quality winner running a similar time, similar sectionals out, in the same sort of sectional, home in a similar sectional. I think it's, just backs up that performance of Tycoon Star. But moving on to this, I guess, it's probably one of the only horses to win from sort of that far back.
Yeah, look where it is here.
The Yulon colours, yeah, quite a long way back. So that's a tick. It did swoop, and the other horse that did swoop in the race was Damask Rose.
Yeah, so she's behind her. She's basically on her
Yeah,
back.
the New Zealander, resuming from bone chips. It's a good run. It was probably not fancied in the betting, really. Got out to $14. I think from memory it was about 8 or 9 on Thursday. So they're the two horses that did something, I guess, against the sort of the bias of the day. Look, I'm probably only sort of highlighting what a few other people have said, that Miss Rubini was, courageous 4 wide outside the speed there in the yellow cap. Yeah, it was obviously a good run. It's only got beaten 3/4 of a length or something.
This is a bounding over here, which runs third, but obviously gets
Gets
few
a little bit
favours.
held up, but probably nothing, too consequential, I would have thought. And in the fourth was Gerringong in the Singleton colours, the blue
Leading.
sleeves, blue cap. It just sort of boxes away after, doing some work early, but nothing too drastic, I don't think. So I think we've summed everything up there. I mean, the winner's done a good job. Damasro's done a good job. And obviously the second horse was the one that sat wide on the tempo. Road to Arataki was 60 to 1 at one stage in the betting. It's run 6th there in the blue and does get a little bit held up between the sort of 3 and the 200 from memory. Just gets a little bit cramped in between runners there. So, yeah, it's done a good job, resuming. It can get over further. But I don't think there's anything else. The party was sort of over for Papa Ward. It was up there.
She had a tough run, but
had a tough run, but sort of, does get beaten 3 lengths there. It's fully fit now. Where do you go? I'm not really sure at this time of year. Manal was a little bit held up, but didn't really sort of scoot along the fence there like a lot of other runners did on the day. Not quite sure what to make of that. Usually very consistent, Manal, but just didn't finish off. I'm not sure whether it's got a little bit cramped from the sort of 300 to the 200, but
it's a while since she's won now.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's 12 months, and the race that she won was full of horses that weren't very good.
Stretton Angel pulled up with poor post-race recovery after sitting outside the lead. They tried upside-down tactics on that. Not sure. Do you know why they did that, Mark? Or
no,
bizarre.
It's funny. All her form, her good form, is down the straight.
Yeah, and it loves to come from sort of 6 or 7 lengths off the lead, but it's sat outside the lead today. So not sure what to make of that, and whether or not that poor post-recovery is just being used up early or something. I don't know. I mean, it had an off day, really. I mean, it's got beaten sort of 5.5 lengths or something. So they need to turn things around there, find out what went wrong, and I think they'll go back to sort of riding it cold.
And look for the straight, I guess, as well. The main event, here we go, the talking point of the day.
Yeah.
Very fast. So, full replay. Very fast.
Racing in the Memsie.
Out and moderate home, which is a fast pace.
Yeah,
So
causing a pinstripe.
She did jump brilliantly, Treasure of the Moment. So she sort of bounds out of the gates there from 1. And Another Will begins with her. So
Pinstripe is the one causing the fast pace early, coming across there with a white cap. They decided to go forward, and unfortunately it didn't work out. Got beaten 10 lengths, although I guess it was 60 to 1. So they tried something. Here to Shock was getting served up here on the in second there. It drops out, gets beaten 7.9 lengths as well. We know it can do better than that. So, yeah, it's just clearly showing you how fast they've gone. Mr. Brightside was in a little bit of that speed for the first couple of hundred, but then eased out of it into third there. And he's gone well, I mean, he's done as well as he can, I guess, for probably a horse first up, with...
So tell us what you're thinking. Where are we? We are at the... We are at this the 600. Well, just
You've been at
past the
600.
600 metre mark, haven't we?
Yeah, they've certainly
What?
gone light speed, haven't they? It's the first thing you've noticed. It's pretty apparent coming into the home turn who's going to win the race. I don't know if you thought that live, Mark, but I certainly did.
Right. So you were looking, you were watching this race, and at the 600, you're going. What? Tell us what you were thinking about Mr. Brightside, another Will.
They seem to have had pretty good runs. I guess they didn't get the run maybe that we thought, or yeah, they didn't get the tempo that everyone sort of thought the race would unfold at, which was probably fairly leisurely. But look, they were in good positions. Another Will's been pretty disappointing. I don't know where you go with it. It's been beaten 6 lengths.
Yeah, well, it was beaten off relatively early in the race. Like he's sort of
He's the
pumping it along
disappointment.
here.
Yeah, he's the disappointment. Mr. Brightside's okay. Antino was 3 wide for most of the journey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course.
I think that I'm okay with that. Yeah, he's got been 4.5, but he's first up. He's got a big campaign ahead of him towards the Cox Plate, so I think it's okay. And he did show his sort of customary sort of mid-race dash. So I think it's okay. I think it's a pass mark, I guess you could sort of say. Buckaroo flashes home into third. We know Buckaroo. There's not really much to add. He's sort of starting off his campaign as he heads towards staying events. He's been honest there. Fangirl, look, I don't know what to make of Fangirl. I understand that a lot of people are saying, oh, she loves the sit sprints. It does get a little bit, sure, she does get a little bit cramped just here as we're watching the video. I did notice that the tongue was out for the last couple of 100 metres. I'm not sure what that's all about.
I would say she's never liked the very fast run races. She wants the race to be slowly run as possible. She's
take advantage of that acceleration she's got. But look, it doesn't. It's not overly attractive where the way she sort of finished off and the tongue out. I'm not sure what that's all about. But anyway. The winner's gone fantastic. It has had probably the best run in the race. Barrier 1, saved ground, never went around a horse. The pace was fast. I think this is probably, I can't imagine there's another level that Treasure of the Moment can go to. And I think that, the way things have turned out here, it's probably been a little bit flattered. But you are still talking about several Group 1 horses here getting beaten convincingly. Mr. Brightside, Fangirl, Antino. So, you're not going to be able to turn around and say, that the performance is nothing. It's still a great performance, but I do think that things worked out nicely for it.
Yeah, so it looks an exciting platform, Roy. I know what you're saying, that, maybe what we're seeing, what we saw there is the best she can do because all the ducks lined up.
You'd have to think so, but look, if it can go to a new level, then we might have something special. But as you say, the ducks did line up.
Yeah, I mean, she had the disadvantage of running in some very funny run races in the autumn.
Look,
particularly the last one.
Look, maybe 2,000 meters is better than 2,400 for it. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. But still, fascinating. Let's go to another horse that returned especially well. So Seapols was scratched at the barrier recently, so he ends up resuming in this race where Home Rule is set to make all, but Seapols goes with him.
They stand really well. Racing at the 1,400 metres. Windstorm last.
Average out, average home, average pace shape.
Yeah, they seem to go a little bit slower than. In this race than the others on the day. Home Rule takes up the lead. And Seppels, for whatever reason, just bounded out of the gates and got into second. I think Warney's in the box seat from memory, and Astero fourth, 1 out, 1 back.
Yep, so there's 4 out of the first 5 across the finish. Cote Atlantique runs 5th, and it runs 3rd. So point it out for us in the run there, Roy.
I'm just the video quality is a little bit down, but I think just having a look here. I think it's probably the horse sort of 7th at the moment.
Yeah,
Moving
here it
through
is
wide.
here.
Yeah,
It's 3 wide. Yeah,
yeah. It's been been a
moving
nice
forward.
run. It's been a nice run, although it does get beaten 4.5. Home rules obviously had enough and or needs a little bit wetter track than what it got. I understand that she was, fit and probably wanted to sort of go a bit early here, which I think was probably the right thing to do. You've got a first upper outside you and you got Warney first up behind you. Why not, test them out? But didn't live up to what I expected and probably needed more rain on the Friday. So I think that's it for home rule now in this part of the year. And Sepples has been fantastic. We mentioned Cote Atlantique was good first up, but how could you go past the winner? I mean, let's put them to the sword. Really, first up can only go forward.
Yeah,
Warning was terrible.
Yeah, Warney was very plain. But as far as the winner's concerned, it's first up in its second preparation, so it's happy days as far as it's concerned. Looking at the miles around the place. Well, I suppose it'd go to the Rupert Clark off this, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is there. I mean, certainly further. It could go further in distance. Loving that, it was pinned as a sort of a back marker going to the meeting, but now you're coming out with a horse, with speed. So love that. It went fantastic. There's not really much. There's some disappointments in the race. Plymouth never got sighted. Like some of these horses got beaten a long way. There's something. Warney was. I don't know where you go with Warney like that.
Nowhere. You don't go anywhere with him.
Yeah, gets beaten by Astero there.
Yeah.
And it was 70-1.
There you have it. All right. So a précis of the meeting. I mean, is there are there horses to follow there that you want to nominate, or you feel like you've covered off race to race?
I think race to race is probably the thing. The thing to remember too is going into the meeting there was a lot of horses first up. So sometimes these early meetings things can look great, but obviously horses are sort of set for targets later on. I think it was a day for disappointments more than anything else. There's some horses that you just couldn't take moving forward for whatever reason. They just maybe haven't come back, or there's some seriously disappointing horses with high profiles. I think it was more about that. I'm certainly impressed with that 3-year-old event, the McNeil. Tycoon Star's done a fantastic job there, I feel. And there's some obvious ones. Obviously, Tropicus was great as well. I think it's a bit of a wait and see at this stage. We'll probably get more horses to follow from the next meeting. I don't know. What about yourself, Mark?
Yeah, I think you've pretty much covered it, Roy. So this has been a review of Caulfield. If you want to join the Roy train, the first 2 weeks are free of the Melbourne Pro-Punter service. So click on the eye in the top right-hand corner and we'll sort you out there in the channel for Roy's very considered assessments. So in addition to the preview shows, obviously Roy will do a set on Saturday morning and some updated comments sort of targeting where you should play. So look out for that. This Saturday, I guess we are going to Flemington. How does that sound, Roy? Are we Flemington or back at Moonee Valley?
I've been busy reviewing and doing all sorts of bits and pieces, but we'll be back on Thursday, ready to go. We'll get all the early form done. Hopefully, we can snare some early prices and whatnot, and we'll be ready to go. Kev will be there, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we're back at the Valley, so
the Valley, yeah, that's right.
The program is the Moir, the Chautauqua Stakes, the So You Think Stakes. All right, so it's not a gala meeting, but obviously it's feeding on from the two Moonee Valley meetings that we had in August. So
looking for on paces probably.
Well, right. Well, stay tuned. Look forward to the preview, but thanks for reviewing that meeting, Roy. And as I say, you get the first 2 weeks free of the Roy's Melbourne Pro-Punter service. Click on the eye in the top right-hand corner if you've not availed yourself of that, or just resub if you've tried it before. And now's the time to get involved because obviously we're spring bound. Thanks, Roy. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thanks, Mark.